Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, ever be purged of corruption and scandal? The commission is in the news again for the wrong reason. The Senate has summoned the management of NDDC over alleged contract scam running into 100 billion naira. Chairman of the Public Accounts Committee probing the NDDC, Senator Matthew Uboide, lamented that it is painful that such amount was spent on contracts by the commission without justification, while contractors ran away with mobilization fees amounting to 61.4 billion naira. 61.4 billion naira. Just get mobilized and they disappear. Jide, I don't know this NDDC drama, unending drama. Yes, because Nigeria, it is the way we are. One day, one trouble, one day, one drama. Yes, there was a public hearing, elaborate public hearing. We saw it. One managing director, passing out and everything. We saw everything. Off your microphone. We saw everything.
Off the mic.
Yes, it went. This is another one now. And look at the humongous amount involved. 61.4 billion naira. Yes. Just mobilization fee. Get the contractor both away.
We are not prepared to do anything about the corruption at NDDC. If we were prepared, by now we would have agreed to put a board in place, just as the president had promised. By now a board will be in place. Why are we allowing Senator Akpabio to literally be running that place as if it belongs to him? He came up with the idea of the interim management committee that is not known to the act setting up the NDDC. He came up, he got away with it. Later on, he came up with the idea of a sole administrator. The sole administrator is from his state. He as minister is from the same Akwa Ibom state. The presidential aide in charge of Niger Delta, Senator Tainang, is also from Akwa Ibom. So other oil-bearing communities are effectively shut out of the running of the place. He has refused to inaugurate a board. The president promised to get a board inaugurated. That promise has not been met. So why are you surprised that we are hearing this kind of stories? They've received 47 queries. My problem is, look, the National Assembly can investigate the NDDC a zillion times, but what will happen
to come out of it?
Yes, what will happen?
Drama, sound bites.
It will just be impotent rage, amounting to nothing at the end of the day, because we still have, thank God, the internet never sleeps. The stories that emanated from the probe by the House of Reps and by the Senate, both they conducted individual probes. Those stories are still there. The recommendations to government are still there. In fact, it was suggested that the NDDC should be removed from the supervision of the minister and taken to the office of the secretary to the government of the federation. Has the executive implemented that recommendation? The answer is no. So if the same National Assembly or the same Senate that made those recommendations, after probing them and establishing humongous cases of corruption, have not been able to get the executive to even implement one of its recommendations, why are we sure that Senator Matthew Irogide and others are not on a wild goose chase? Because that's the way it looks. That's the way it looks. Somebody refusing bluntly to inaugurate a board. The visual threat to him is just there running the place alone.
GKB, I don't know, maybe you partook in this 61.4 billion. So the bottom line of what we are saying now is that the last probe of NDDC, and somebody was even telling the lawmakers that a sizable number of you guys, you are part of the rot in this system.
To even show outreach when it comes to NDDC is a waste of emotion, because it's obvious that NDDC is well above the law. And if you live in Port Harcourt, I know I was working in Port Harcourt for a while, and then the NDDC in Port Harcourt is a law unto itself. That's how much they influence the area. And now look at the report here. They ran away. Those who collect mobilization close to 61.4 billion.
Mobilization.
This is not 61.4 kobo. Somebody be mobilized at this level cannot run away.
No, it's not possible to.
You will have assets. You will have a base. You will have a registered company.
I know them.
So when you read the report like this, you just laugh. Because you know, neither the person investigating or the investigating.
And it's coming after the earlier report.
About 4 or 5 other reports, yeah.
The audit report, the earlier audit report. Fresh cases are coming up. So what are we talking about? These are people paid money to themselves during COVID, where they were doing nothing. They claimed that they were supervising road projects and other projects during COVID.
So to show outrage is a waste of time. Because this will continue as long as the right things are not done. We keep talking about lack of infrastructure, lack of institutions. Yet the few we have, we bastardize just to make one man look good or look bad.
We don't run them properly. We allow impunity to walk on 2 legs.
We keep complaining, no institutions.
Now, what's now the basis of this fight against corruption? If a federal government departments like NDDC and severally they may be found culpable, and Mr. President is not ready to make some people examples.
I just don't understand. I don't understand. The first thing to do is to implement the recommendations of the Senate. You can call them names. You can say they are not better than the people they are probing. But I looked at the recommendations and I found those recommendations good enough to be implemented. Go ahead, implement the thing. Yes, the president has the power to delegate. So what has happened now, moving it from the supervision of the presidency to a minister, which was not as prescribed by our laws,
like an aberration.
Which was not as prescribed by our laws. Yes, the president is now deemed to be the president exercising his power of delegation, his power to delegate. But if you can see scandals, as we saw in the National Assembly, where somebody was faking passing out and all that, you can't pass out, and when someone was trying to squeeze your neck, you had the presence of mind to hold his hand. That yes. Don't kill me. Don't kill me. No, that's not.
Yes,
that means you're
conscious.
Yes, that means you are conscious enough
just
to know that
somebody
was trying to take your life, and then you responded appropriately. You know, man by nature will give anything to stay alive.
Catch 22.
Man by nature will give anything to stay alive, especially if you are a privileged person who has access to tons of cash. You know, so he had to literally restrain him. Don't asphyxiate me.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, what are we talking about? We came here to talk. You want to take my life, guys? Okay.
And there's still cash at home.
You know, and after that, Akpabio, knowing that particular inter-management committee had been blotted,
neutralized,
had been disgraced, had been discredited. That's the word. Has been discredited before Nigerians. He then did the first thing to go again to get presidential approval to have a sole administrator. Again, they pandered to him, allowed him to have the sole administrator, and he has refused to inaugurate the board. So whatever happens, so I don't know. Let the government implement.
All the recommendations that
House of Reps came up with its own, Senate came up with its own. Let the government look at those recommendations and blend them. Cherry pick the ones that you want. If you feel like cherry picking, cherry pick the ones that you want, and then let's have
the structures in place.
Okay, I have Kolawole Johnson on phone. Thank you for joining us, Kolawole Johnson.
Hey, thank you. Good to be with you again.
You've been at the vanguard of, fighting against corruption in NDDC. Right now, we have a very, very, another terrible situation at hand.
Okay.
So what do you make of this? 61.4 billion naira.
Well, As a matter of fact, I have decided to maintain silence because it appears no matter the amount of noise you make, the government will end up doing nothing. So it appears that the system we run actually is aiding these guys to do whatever they like. It appears the kind of system we run is aiding and abetting people, to get away with any amount or any kind of corruption in the system. What you're hearing is 61.4 billion naira. I can assure you that if the account of that commission is audited in the last 3 years, you'll be talking about over 300 billion naira. Forget 61.4 billion. It's just a little part of the, just a tiny part of the whole. Besides, the Senate that are today trying to probe these guys, you ask yourself that if they have carried out their oversight function properly, would you have a situation where these guys will have the room to steal, unhindered? So the fact is that they are all guilty. Each time you hear them shouting probe, we are victims. We have done our part. These guys are just looking for how to be part of the cake. The moment they give them their own shares, they keep quiet. Besides, if you look at many of the things they are shouting about today, they are part of the forensic auditing. So you ask them, why don't they focus their attention, the energy, on the corruption, on the sleaze ongoing there now? Why are they talking about, why do they keep flogging the past and they keep eating from that one again? If they do their oversight function properly, they will be able to stop the corruption ongoing now. AY, 61 billion is just a tip of the iceberg. In that place every single day, billions sink. That's the fact. That's the truth.
What's your reaction to the refusal to inaugurate a board of the NDDC despite the president's promise?
Junior, I don't know if you followed us on that board issue. Let me strike some comparison here. You have the Northeast Development Commission today functioning with a board in place. NNPC has been accused of corruption, today functioning with a board in place. So you ask, what exactly has made the case of NDDC different? Is that they have refused to inaugurate a substantive board, despite the fact that is what the law says. Now, take note of this fact that when you have a board in place, there are benefits. The entire 9 states of the Niger Delta area are represented, 1 per state. Number 2, you have the Ministry of Finance represented. Environment, also they are there. Then you have the oil companies themselves, who are the major, who are the one providing the largest fund to run this commission. They are also represented. Today, none of them is there. You have just one man, a sole administrator controlled by the minister. Whatsoever the sign goes, there is no check. Nobody is checking. Nobody is even acting, as the engineer on site. You don't have a project manager. There is no finance. Only one person, is the one to approve, is the one to supervise, is the one to monitor, is the one to procure. This is the height of fraud.
I'm afraid we have to leave it there.
Why is it that the president is refusing to inaugurate
the board?
A board. This is my judgment.
Kola Johnson, thank you.
To keep
Thank you.
He wants a few persons to keep feasting on the resources of the people. That's all. Because the more you
thank you for your contribution, Kola Johnson.
The board.
Thank
you for your contribution.